Alright guys, it's been a while since I've done a video, but I'm going to do a video on reloading, and I'm going to be reloading for the 223. And I have right here, I bought the Lee Deluxe Die Set. They come in a yellow box, and with this you don't have to use lube. You're just going to use two different dies, and that's it. You're going to size it, and then you're going to set it. It makes it very simple. And then I bought the Lee factory crimp die. After I get done, you crimp it, and that'll hold the bullet in place. It'll be like a factory crimp die. And we're going to do that. And then I got this. I bought this as a digital for measuring the length, to make sure it's the proper length. And I bought the digital one, and it runs on batteries. It works pretty good. They're not that expensive. Okay? But the first thing we're going to do is you're going to take, and I got one casing of a 223, and I did for many years before. I only been reloading for about 3 years. I do 45 and I do the 308. And for the 308, I won't do it on this video of course, but I bought a deluxe one for the 308 too. I used to have one where you did with the lube, but I bought the deluxe die set for the 308 too, where you don't have to use lube. It's just two process. So, but for many years when I was shooting, I saved all my brass. So I have tons of brass. So if you're ever thinking about reloading, just start saving your brass. And then when you do it, you'll have tons of it. But this is a 223. So what we're going to do is open up the Lee Deluxe kit. There's 3 dies in here. But we're going to use just 2 of them. We're going to use this one right here for taking out the primer and resizing it. And then afterwards, I'm going to use this for setting the bullet. So just 2 dies we're going to use. And again, the 3rd die, after we're all done, we're going to go ahead and crimp it. Now, with the Lee dies, I use the Lee's reloading, and it works really well. It wasn't expensive, and it works really well. And then you come with you can preset them. You have you could preset them. That way, once you set them, you can leave it for that size. So I'm going to take this one in here. It has a little lip right there. You put it in. You turn it over, and now it's set. And I've already preset these, so all I do is put them in, and then we're good to go. And again, reloading is not that hard once you learn how to do it. You just got to be careful because you don't want to put too much gunpowder in it. But besides that, it's not that bad. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and also I just want to say that I usually do like 10, 15, 20 bullets at a time. But for the video, I'm going to do 1 bullet from start to finish. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 223 casing. You're going to put it into press. You bring it up and you hear a little ping. And you'll see the primer fall out. And then you give it a good push to resize it. And once you resize it, you bring it out. And I have a little tool here. One side is for large primers and one side is for small primers. And the 223 uses the small primer. And you take this tool here, what it does, and you scrape out the resin left over from when the primer went off to clean it up. And then once you do that, you have this tool right here. It has a little knife edge on it, and you can screw it out and then put in different ones for different sizes. For like I have one for the 308, and you have one for like the 45 ACP, and this one's for the 223. And you just screw it in there till it stops, and then you take this and you stick it through the shell, and you'll see it come up through the hole in the primer. And then you turn it just to trim the brass back the way it's supposed to be. And once you do that, you take the chafer here and you chafe on the outside and chafe on the inside. And then that's it. And the reason you want to trim it down is because when you fire, the brass stretches. So you want to trim it back down every time you reload. You can reload a shell probably 2-3 times, but after a while you'll see when it gets too thin and you can't do it no more. So once you do that, and then you take a primer, and I have small rifle primers right here. I'm just going to take one out. And once you take one out, you're going to do is you're going to take this right here and you're going to put it, I put it inside my die, my press, and then I put the shell in, push it up, push it in, take it out, and then you inspect it, make sure it's okay, and then you get the shell, the casing is primed. Okay, and once you prime it, now you want to do is you're going to put gunpowder in it and you're going to get a bullet. I'm reloading a pointed soft point. I have baggies of it. I bought 300 of these a couple years ago, and they're 55 grain pointed soft point, and that's what I use for hunting. So you got to make sure you have the bullet, and then you got to get the gunpowder. I use a IMR 4895, and then to get the right amount of gunpowder, I use the little dip that comes with the die, and you get the perfect amount every time. Then I take my little funnel. Now before I do this, I got to change the dial. This die right here didn't have to use no lube. It pushed it in, it took out the primer, and it resetted the bullet for me. Resized it, I mean, back to where you want it. Then you take this die out. Then I got my next die, which is all preset, and you put that in. And once you put that in, now we're going to do, once I put the gunpowder in, put the bullet in, push it up in there, and it'll set the bullet the depth that I want it to go. And I've already got it preset. So then I'm going to do is take the cover off on the gunpowder. Then I just take the bullet like this, put it like that, get my gunpowder, make sure it's filled the way I want it, and then you just pour it in. Put the cover back on the gunpowder in case I drop it. I don't want it all over the floor. Make sure all the powder went in. Now it's filled with powder. And then you're going to do now is just take the bullet and you're going to put the bullet inside just like that. Put it here in the press. Put it up into the set die where it sets the depth. And I push it till it's set. Now the bullet's set to the depth I want. And right there, that's a bullet all set to go. But I'm going to do is factory crimp it, to crimp it around the bullet to hold it in nice and tight. So again, to do that, all you got to do is take that die out. Again, I got the Lee factory crimp die. And that's already been set. So I stick it back into my Lee press. Turn it till it snaps back in, and then we're good to go. Then you take the bullet, you put it in, push it down, give it a good push, bring it up, and now that bullet is good to go. It's a 55 grain pointed soft point for the 223. And I have the primer, the gunpowder, the bullet, set the depth I want, and then I did the factory crimp die. And then I turn this on, and then you bring it out if you want to see the total length. And the total length, I don't know if you can be able to see that or not, but that's the total length for the bullet. And this one is 5.508, and that's perfect. And that's it, guys. I didn't have to use no lube. Again, I'll do a quick review. All you do is take the shell, knock out with the one die, you knock out the primer and resize it. Then you clean out the residue with the primer fired, and then you take your thing to go in there and cut off the trim to trim it back down to the correct size. That's presetted, so it does it automatic for you. Then you shave the top off. Then you put the primer in. Then you put the gunpowder in, put the bullet, set it to the depth you want, and then do a factory crimp die, and then you got a 223 ready to go. And I'm going to bring the video up to my wall here. For those, and I did a prop back here. I got a 50 caliber black powder rifle, Hawkins, and I have a Bushmaster 223 5.56 that I use for hunting. So I have both bases covered. I went from the beginning all the way to modern days. But those who say you can't use the 223 or the Bushmaster for hunting, I use it for hunting all the time. I'll show you a picture. I got a buck, not last fall, but the fall before, dressed out at 166 pounds. I figured he probably weighed about 196 to 200 pounds when I shot him before I dressed him out. So he's pretty close to a 200-pound buck. Dropped him one shot, 55 grain, pointed soft point, shot him in the base of the neck, dropped him in one shot. No problem at all. I use it for fox hunting, so I do use mine for hunting. Okay? But I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you wanted to do some reloading and not use lube, and then go ahead and do it. Even if you're going to use the other die with a lube, reloading is a lot of fun. But if you want to do it without using lube, if you get it costs a little bit more, but if you get the yellow one, the box with the Deluxe Lee kit die, and you can just do the two dies. You resize it, and then you set the bullet, and it's pretty simple. And if you come over here, and right there is a 166-pound buck, and I shot him with that Bushmaster you see for hunting. And then if you look up here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I shot a fox a couple years ago. I don't know if that's going to come out too good or not. And then for anyone who's a veteran, they know what that is right there. Okay, well that's it. This is my reloading room, and where I keep my weapons and stuff. I keep my weapon right over there locked up. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you.